Hey, this is Mr. Max again. Um, how are you guys doing? Um, well, I'm here. I have quite a few cars in here still. Let me show you that Optima. The Optima is already primed, so I have to wet sand and then paint. The fender, I took the fender off to do that door, so I don't scratch that up. So I'm gonna put it on after I wet sand. So the suspension is, I'm waiting for, I gotta bleed the brake, and there was a little damage on the hood. So I have to, I'm not gonna paint the whole hood. So I didn't show you guys how I did the sanding, but it was gonna take too long to show all that. I might have to see how to speed the the footage, so you guys don't watch for a whole hours, you know. So, but anyway, I'll figure that out. When I have something smaller that will take maybe within half an hour, then I might show that one. Okay, so that's the Kia. Then I have the Kia Soul, and I have this a Volkswagen. It's sitting on the frame machine, a Tiguan. I have to do the rear. The whole back is out. It looks horrible like this right now, but everything is gonna be new, so it's gonna look a whole lot different when it's done. So that's another car I'm working on right now. So the Ford Edge. It had a minor front hit, but the airbags were deployed. So I already installed the airbags. So I gotta paint this car here the coming week. Let me go. Yeah, so I gotta paint that this coming week, and I'm gonna go in the spray booth. I have a car that came in. It's let me flip that video again. So it's a Audi SUV with a little minor dent on the fender, but there was another one on the door, so I have to paint both panels. So I'm gonna do that now. Alright, so this is the spray booth, my spray booth. Alright. So that's what I do, you know, I do my little jobs here. Self-employed, so I'm not into all the fancy high-end cars that people buy and show off. No, I don't roll like that, you know. So I'll show you a little bit of, this is gonna be my car when it's done. It's a 2018 Jetta. Let me flip that the light. So I gotta fix this. This is gonna be my ride. I ain't buying nothing new. I'm in the car collision repair business, so I could fix my car myself and get an up-to-date car. This is a 2018 Jetta. So I'm gonna get on this hopefully early next year. All right. So that's what it is. So this is another section of the shop. I have a front and a rear. So I have to clean this place up. I used to have someone in here paying rent, but yeah, people are not reliable these days. You give them a cheap number and they still can't handle it. So it's crazy, you know. It's hard. So I'm not even thinking of renting this spot here. All right. So let me go back to the front. Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit more about myself. So stay tuned for that one. It's gonna be, I guess, yeah, I'm gonna do that in a few. Okay. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Okay. Okay. All right. I have the phone on a stand now. It's shaking. Yeah. So where was I? When the guy, so I got this job at another location in Brooklyn, Bay Ridge, New York. When I got there, it's two young Italian guys, and one was a mechanic. I think they were both mechanics, but they were taking body work. So I started doing work there, but it was an environment that I wasn't used to. These guys were cursing all day, the F word, scumbag. I wasn't used to hearing those things on as you work. So I worked with them. They were fighting each other. I said, boy, this is not a good, I don't need to be around this craziness. So I think, I can't remember how long I worked there, but it was not long, maybe within a month. I said, that's it. So I left that place. Then at that time now, I was staying, I was no longer at that lady I was staying. I ended up with a cousin of mine that used to live in Crown Heights or Bed-Stuy. I think it was Crown Heights, New York. Or that was in Brooklyn. So I got a job at this other place now. So when I walked in the shop, and the office was upstairs. So when I asked one of the workers there who's the boss, and they told me you gotta go upstairs. So I went upstairs, and I told those guys, I saw two white guys and a white lady. I guess the lady was the secretary. So the guys, I told them, well, I'm looking for a job. You guys are hiring. So they looked at each other, the guys, and they told me, you know what? I mean, I could leave my info, my phone number, and they will call me. So when I heard that, I said, listen, I can't stay home and wait for calls. I can't do that. I gotta get a job. I have bills to pay. So that's what I told them. So when those guys heard that, they looked at each other again. And then they said, all right, come Monday. You know? Hey, well, I'm not, I came to the US. I didn't come here to play. So I went in Monday with my tools and all. Because they're going to test to know if I could, you know, do what I'm doing. If I could do what I say I do. So they put me on the car that the frame guy, you know, you have people that do the frame work, you know, when the car is bent, and you have the guy that pull it up, you know, level it, everything, or if they change a panel, then, but I was the one doing the bondo work, you know. And once I'm done with my part, then it goes to the painter. So I was working on this first car they put me on. So I saw some problems. Then I asked, I think it was the guy who had worked on the car before I got to it. I asked him, hey, this thing is gonna be a problem. There was a bigger gap. if the gap's supposed to be small, now it was wider. So I asked, hey, are we going to solve this thing? And so he told me to, maybe fill it up with a little Bondo. So, because I want to make sure that I'm not going to create problems. So I did what I'm working on that car. But I did my sanding on one side. So while I'm doing the sanding on the other side, I heard someone feeling, because when you want to know if the work is done right, usually they use the hand and feel. So they had a Haitian guy, an older guy. He was a painter, and I was told that he was working there for a long time. So he was feeling the other side, which is the driver's side of the car. And I was on the passenger side sanding another area that needed, that I was working on too. So when I realized that somebody is feeling, I knew that whatever I did on that side, everything was on point. So after that person did what they had to do, I saw the guy went up to the stairs, trying to go back to where the boss, those two, it was an Italian and a Jewish guy. So he went up there. So I knew what was happening at that time. He's gonna go and give them info if this guy is good or not. So I wasn't worried because I know whatever I did on that side, everything was on point. So I wasn't worried with nothing. So when the guy came back down, the Haitian guy, he's coming down to give me the news. He said, hey, you're good. You're good. And this time I know, hey. So he was the person that they had check on me to see if actually, I could handle the job. So he told them, hey, this guy is okay, and that was it. So I think I worked there for maybe, up to 1990 or sometime. I was there for maybe 2 years. The same thing, a similar situation happened. Before I got there, they always had 2 men working, doing Bondo work. The position that I had, they always had two workers for that. But when I got there, I think the one guy had left. The other person was no longer there. So I was the only one doing the work. So the course, the body guy does the framework. When they're done, then it comes to me. And then after I'm finished with my part, then it goes to the painter. So if I not making no moves or my thing is slowed down, the painter is not gonna have work. So the problem that was there, a lot of the guys didn't talk to each other. This one has problems with that one has problems with that. But I was the only one that was neutral. I'm there to work. I don't have time to look for arguments about crap that doesn't make sense. So I was the only one they would be able to call if they needed help to put a part on a car. Sometimes the hoods were, if it's heavy or a door is heavy, then you call someone to give you a hand. So they will call me, all these other guys will call me. So I would help. So now, after a while being there, but before I continue with this story, one day I was mixing Bondo with my tool. I'm mixing my Bondo. And I saw the Italian guy. He was standing and he was looking at me. And guess what he said? The guy said, "Yo, Max, you know that day when you came up in the office, we had no idea that you could do what you're doing, what we see you doing right now." I can't remember what I told him, but you know, it is what it is. So he was surprised, you know, that hey, they could have, if I was to go, leave them my number, and go and wait for calls, they probably wouldn't call me. You know. But anyway, they did. I got the spot. So no, after all these guys were calling me to give them a hand, you know, help when they need, you know, sometimes you need another person to help you with something. So the boss, the Jewish one, because he was the bad one in that team. The Jew one was the bastard. So he came one day and he told me, "Max, you're not working like you used to." I said, "Herman, what do you mean? I'm not working like I used to." Hey, Keith is calling me. That one is calling me. I can't remember the names no more. This one over there calls me. What happened? Even with all that, I'm still doing my work. So what's the problem? You know? So when the boss man told me that, you know, that's a problem. You know, I don't like to hear that, because I'm nowhere a joker when I'm working. I'm a serious man. I don't play around. So after he told me that, I think it was Friday, went home. Next day, I went and get my tools. That was Saturday. So the tow truck guy called him up, say, "Hey, Max is here taking his tool." Put him on the phone. When he's trying to beg now for me to stay, I said, "No, puppy, that's it. I'm leaving. I don't want to hear that shiggity that I'm not working. You crazy? If I don't finish my work, how would the painter get work?" So then the painter is not working. So I left. I don't need that foolishness. So I went to this other place in a shop where they restore the old cars of the 30s, the 50s. So you know, so they restore the old cars. So I got a job there, and it was through a friend of mine, a Trinidadian guy that I met at the first place where I got a job. My first boss was from Trinidad. So anyway, so that guy told me about this spot, this place now, and I got a job. I got the job there. So I was working, you know. I think it was from 8:30 to 6, or I can't remember the time. But you know, doing these old cars is a lot. The whole car is Bondo, body filler. But anyway, I was able to handle it. So, and the other guy, the Trinity guy, was a painter. Now, when it's lunchtime, I have to take my lunch. So these people now, they realize that this guy, as soon as the bell rings, Max stops and go and eat his eat his lunch. So this one day, the bell rang, and I stopped. I'm gonna go eat my lunch now. It's lunchtime. That's what it's called, lunchtime. You know, because when I'm working, I don't play. You know, you have people that are joking around and doing crap. I don't have time for that. I'm here. I came to the US with different mindset, you know. I didn't come to play here. So the guy wants me to continue do work while it's now lunchtime. So when am I gonna take my lunch? I didn't like that. So what is it you're trying to prove to these white folks? What? It's lunchtime. You don't want to take your lunch? Okay, go ahead. That's you. I want my lunch because I walk with my food. I gotta eat. If you don't eat, what kind of energy you gonna have to do your work? So I didn't worry with him. You know, I go and eat my lunch. Those who want to keep working, there was another black guy also. They keep working doing their lunch. What they trying to prove to the white man, I don't know. So that boss there, I don't know what he told me one day, something. I can't remember it was a Ford Mustang I was about to weld something, and I asked him something, but anyway, the response wasn't good. So after he told me what he had to tell me, at that moment, I heard what he said. I just gathered my tools from the floor to my toolbox, roll that sucker out. Yeah. I can't have nobody wanna rough me, you know. The only boss that was able to talk to me in a rough way was where I learned trade. That was back in Suriname. That guy, I'm glad that he took me in. And I started as an apprentice there. Okay, let me go back to, finish with this one. So I took my toolbox out and drove off. The hell with that. I don't need that. So that was it with that one. So I left that place. I went to another spot the same day because I used to do a side job somewhere. So I went there and continue on a job I was doing. So that was, let me see, that was the last, that was the last, let me see, what did I do? Yeah, I think that was the last place I worked for someone. Yeah, that was the last place. So after I left that place, I bought 3 newspapers, and I said, so now by this time it's now almost about 5 years being in the US. I said, the hell with this. So I bought the paper and I started looking for buildings to rent. And I found a building in Brooklyn, New York, on Utica Avenue. So I made my move, paid the rent, pay security, 2 months security, and everything they wanted. So, but that place that I was working in, Bay Ridge, those white guys, they used to get work from a car dealer, and that dealer liked what I was doing on the cars. The result was different than maybe what used to happen before. So, and he told me, if ever you go on your own, call me, and I kept his number. And so I kept his number, and when I went I started that business, things weren't nothing, because nobody knows you. So when you open your doors, nobody knows you. But there, the guy that was there before me, he still had a few people that used to come by to look for him. But now I was there, and they tried to work with me. So I did get a few jobs, and then I say, hey, let me call this dealer now. And when I called him, that was it. A lot of costs, because he already knew what I was capable of doing. So I started getting work, you know. But before I continue with that one, let me go back to my early days as an apprentice. So that job, you know, when I got that job, I was still in high school, and it was my job after school, because my dad used to raise chickens. It was my job when I go home after school. I was supposed to give them, make sure they have water, because that place is a hot place, you know. But this one day, I didn't pay. I must have forgot. The chickens, they needed water, but I went playing soccer with my friends. So when he got home, the first place he's gonna go is to the chicken coop to see what's going on there. And he realized the problem, no water. So when I finally finished with my soccer game, went home, brother man told me, listen, boss, I'm trying to raise these chickens so I could make a little extra money, you know, because it's 8 children, so to make some extra money to be able to take care of his family. So he said, now, you know, you're going to have to go look for work now. So when I heard that, I said, damn. So one of the guys, my buddy, that I play soccer with, his dad had a body shop. And I say, hey, I asked him, you think your father will want me, you know, would I be able to get a job there at this shop? He said, hey, he doesn't know, you gotta go and find out. So I went, and the guy told me, you gotta come with a parent, you know, because I was 16 at that time. And so I went home, I told my dad about it, and he came with me, and I got the job, you know. And so they had, it was a big shop. They had a lot of workers. They had about 10 apprentices, including me. And all the other, the frame guy, the painter. So now, I used to go there after school. So I leave school at 1, and then I would go there until 6 p.m. So I would go there from 2 to 6 every day, for, you know, during the week, and Saturday half a day, from 8 to I think it was 12 or 1 o'clock. So while being there, you know, I used to sweep the shop. You know, I would sweep, and when I'm done with that, then I would go and look what the big guys are doing, you know, and that's how you start to learn. They show you what you got to do, you know. They show you and you try. They show you, and that's why it took me from 1970. It was 1976, yeah. 1976. I worked there until 1979. Yeah. So they had 10 apprentices there. And out of the 10 apprentices, you had only 2 that were serious. It was me and another guy. The rest were jokes. I mean, they will help for whatever they have to do, but they weren't serious. They were playing around too much. The only serious one on that job as apprentice was me and another guy. I can't remember his name. So, and the boss noticed that. You know, when you making improvement, the boss watches what goes on in the shop, and he would know what's what, who's doing what, and he noticed. So after a year, maybe, I think, I can't remember exactly, then he would have the body guy, the, let's say a panel has a dent, and then he will have somebody fix it, push it out, level it nice, and then they will have me do the body filler, the bonder work. And they will have it waiting for me when I go there at 2 p.m. Yeah, when Max get to the shop, there is a car waiting for with a little spot, and that's when I start do my thing. You know, I start do it and make my my moves. And that was the best learning I got in this trade here. Thank to that guy. I thank that guy for hiring me or allowing me to learn over there, because I came to the US. I never had problems with job. Never. And nobody ever fired me. There was no need, because I was not a joker nowhere. So there was no need. I just walked away. You know, when they think they're gonna push you around like a joke, no, that's not happening. The only guy that was able to do that was where I learned. I show him that respect. But these other people, no, you can't come and wanna talk to me or whatever you feel like. No, doesn't go like that. So you know, so that was it. You know, in my apprentice days. So, and so I did my training there. Then I left there. One of the guys who showed me how to do the body filler work, he told me about another spot. So I took, you know, I went there because I was making more money. When I worked there for a while, then I went somewhere else, and I was making more money again. And this time I was doing piecework. Piecework is they will have like a car, and you're gonna give a price how much you want to do this repair, and that's what I did that for a number of years. So when you do work like that, you gotta make sure you finish your job within a certain amount of time. Because if you're dragging or playing around, you won't make money. So while I was doing that, that made me now have the attitude of moving. When I come, I'm not playing around, I'm moving. That's how you're gonna advance in this life. You can't come laid back, cell phone and chatting. Nah, you gotta have a plan, you know. So so that's a little bit about me, and I have a lot more stories to tell, you know, what black people, black business owners go through. I'm gonna give you guys some insight of what is happening to black business owners, especially in my line of work. You know, the things we deal with or we gotta go through with our own people, But yeah, I think that will be it for today. I'm gonna say good night to everybody who's watching. What is it again? Press that like button, subscribe, and share. And what is that other thing? I can't remember. Anyway, I'll get it soon. Okay, thank you folks for listening and watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Okay, all right.